Becoming a TEDx speaker is a powerful way to stand out for all of us who are leading healthcare and be able to change how we practice medicine, how we take care of ourselves, our patients, and our community. We have to be more than just a title. In today's episode, we will discuss how can you leverage TEDx stage and how to be able to break through the hundreds of applicants for each event for you to truly be able to stand out on stage, being viewed by millions of TEDx community and truly build your credibility and trust in the right audience to support you and your mission. Welcome to Provider's Edge, the podcast that helps healthcare entrepreneurs and innovators break down barriers and control their business, life, and future with valuable action steps. With me, your host, Sabrina Runbeck, a recovered clinician and a business deal catalyst. Let's rewrite the rules and create a positive social impact while increasing your profitability. I am thrilled to be one of the 12 speakers at TEDx Buckhead Ave in Atlanta on September 14th of 2024. So join us in this amazing full day event where we have entertainment and 12 speakers with 12 amazing ideas. Each are from diverse background and 2 of us are in the healthcare space. Go to runbeckmediagroup.com/TEDx to grab your ticket because we can actually have only about 100 participants in this very intimate studio. So why become a TEDx speaker? Because your unique title, your expertise, just because you are an authority in your space by your title doesn't quite mean everybody is buy into who you are and jumping on board with you and already are raving fan of your mission and able to support you. Therefore, leveraging big platforms such as well-recognized TED stage will help you to quickly spread your messages and boost your visibility and credibility. Remember Simon Sinek? After his TEDx on leadership, he quickly be able to become a best-selling author and boost his consultancy. And of course, our beloved Brené Brown, the professor in my hometown, Houston, Texas, able to, after her viral talk, founded The Daring Way, training professionals to be able to build resilience. Each TEDx is very competitive. Each event gets hundreds of applicants. How do you get accepted as a speaker? I was privileged to be selected as one of the 12 speakers this year at TEDx Buckhead Ave on September 14th, 2024. So come join us. Grab your ticket now at runbeckmediagroup.com/TEDx. I interviewed the organizer, Tasha White, on her second annual event. How exciting to not only be able to gather brilliant minds, but putting this amazing event together this year. She's able to share with us some of the insights and secrets on how you can become the next TEDx speaker. Stay tuned. We're so excited at TEDx stage at Buckhead Ave with Tasha. And thank you so much for putting all this amazing speaker together. There are 12 of us. Yeah?
12.
And then how many applications did you go through?
A little over 100, 102.
Oof. Wow. How was the experience selecting speakers, putting the application together? Because every event is different, every application. What was the process like to put that?
Yeah, we actually started planning for TEDx Buckhead Ave event last year. So we went live, I believe, at the top of the year and started doing some marketing and letting speakers know that we were ready for our second show. And so that is going to be this coming September 14th to be exact. And we have 12 amazing speakers that have content around this big idea. And what you see is our theme is immerse yourself. We want you to be immersed in the experience, in the talk. And we're super excited about having everybody.
Yeah, I know this event definitely from many other TEDx events, either people have spoke on stages or not. It's very different. You guys are doing so much to put this thing together. We have coaches, we have filming. You guys gonna show some of the walk and practices. And today we even had a round of firing for people to be in the stage, be on the dot, understanding there are different cameras, whether we're used to be a speaker for many times before or first time doing a TEDx on this big stage. It's a lot of excitement, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement.
And at the same time, a lot of nerve.
A lot of nerve. So we're trying to make sure that we get people prepared, have them go through practicing, and actually get a chance to actually be in the space and rehearse in the space. And that's what this was today was all about.
Yes. And then to give people a little confident booster, now you've gone through 100 applicants and select 12 of us. What was the major factor that you guys were locking down to say these are the 12 people for this year?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we didn't see redundancy in terms of the types of talks. So if you were speaking on a particular topic like community, we didn't want multiple people talking about the same topic. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure, again, a broad range. It was super diverse. Again, it varies. So technology, I think we have someone talking about gaming. We have another person talking about community. We have another person talking about connectivity. So it ranges. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do is to make sure that we had a broad range of topics.
Yes, and you guys are going to hear sneak peeks of what are the speakers going to bring to you at the end, second half of this episode. So stay tuned. And definitely for you guys to go to Eventbrite to register for the event.
Absolutely.
We can only have 100 people in the room, so you make sure you are in the room with us to immerse yourself with this experience. Now, what made you thought about, wow, TEDx stage, right? It's a big thing. How did you decide to say, I want to run this event of any event you could be doing?
Yeah, when you think about MODEX, so MODEX is the studio where the TEDx experience will be held. It can bring a diverse range of types of experiences. And one of them we thought to do was TEDx. So we actually applied last year, or actually 2 years ago, and decided to do it last year in September, again in this September. But again, the space itself is very flexible, and this is the type of experience that we wanted to bring to MODEX Studio.
Yes, it's definitely a very cozy environment. It's not just a standard orchestra kind of stage or on a college campus. It does give you that community feeling of being togetherness and that immersive environment. And then I know it is a long application that you guys have to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty extensive. Again, we got a bunch of variety of talks, and again, we wanted to make sure not only the topics that we had were diverse, but also we had a diverse representation as well. And one of the things that we're super proud of is last year we were dominated with a lot of female.
Yeah.
This year we have a balance of genders, male and female. So we have 12 total, but 6 men, 6 ladies, and super excited about that as well.
And we're very culturally diversified as
Absolutely.
well. So proud
Absolutely.
to be in all-inclusive
Absolutely.
of a community event. What would be some recommendations as people wanted to be on TEDx stages? Because I think all of us have a message to share. And then sometimes either you have too many ideas and to lock down just one, or some people feel like, what is my idea? And as they're applying, as they're really standing out, truly empower themselves through their voice, what would be some of your recommendations?
Yeah, one of the things, so there's a number, again, TEDx is an opportunity for organizers to bring the experience to life in their respective communities. And so there's a number of them. In fact, here in Atlanta, there's maybe about 5 organizers just in the immediate Atlanta area. So I would say take a look at TEDx website. And there you can see where there are potential opportunities for you to actually apply to those particular organizations, those particular chapters. We're TEDx Buckhead Ave. We're right here in the heart of Buckhead. And there's a number of them.
Amazing. Definitely for any of us, please check out last year's event. All the speakers have been able to post on the TEDx YouTube channel. And then we are also going to have 12 new speakers this year on September 14th, Saturday. So you guys can definitely make it. And they're going to be entertainment, going to be social event. Bring your family, friends. Everybody can support you on this journey and get your message out there. So stay tuned for the sneak peek of the speakers.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Sabrina Runbeck, a cardiothoracic surgery clinician turned a podcaster and strategist for visionary founders within the healthcare space. You can see that I am actually sitting in the Houston Medical Center, where I spent almost a decade here serving the community. In my earlier year of career, I was pulling 80 plus hours per week and burning out. I thought that how can we so driven advocating for our patients, but rarely for ourselves? So instead of turning into other side hustles, I tuned into podcasting to help both myself and my colleagues to find a voice on how we can truly create the newer way, the leading way of medicine to serve our community, our patients, our caregiver, and each other as clinicians. At TEDx Buckhead Ave on September 14th, I will be sharing my journey on how, as a female leader and entrepreneur, breaking through what I call the gatekeeper myth in order to successfully grow and scale and demonstrate our value in the healthcare space. Despite of women owning about half of all small businesses in the US market, only about 3% are backed by VC funding. The problem does lie within these three gatekeeper myths. These gatekeeper myths are the hidden biases and barriers preventing women-owned companies from scaling successfully. And it also doesn't exclude how men are able to stand up as well. I will also discuss how, through my experience of working with various startups within the healthcare space, be able to knock down, dismantle these gatekeepers to truly create what we call the empowered ecosystem for you to effectively scale your company and stand out as an expert in your space. Here's a sneak peek of our practice session and the multiple speakers that you will have a chance to see their talk. Listen up. How bad really is the gatekeeper myth? Did you know that less than 3% of venture capital funding goes to women-owned businesses? Is that fair? Or is it because these gatekeepers are keeping us out? Now, there are three types of gatekeepers. The number one, I call them the mental moths. Like the big round thing that goes around the castle, except instead of crocodiles, it's scarier. It's the things that we have, the misconceptions in our brain, the self-doubt. And number two, what I call them, the perception drawbridge. Now, this is if you're tossing fire, doing circus, and then someone put a blindfold on you while someone else is putting this drawbridge up and down. The third myth is the elite citadel. The people that keep us out. They have a certain set of checkboxes. So now I want everyone to be able to build their own castle, that empowered ecosystem. It's not meant to keep anyone out, but select the right people in your core to support you to expand that community so we can truly get to the place that everyone deserves to be. And you don't have to prove to anybody. It's because everyone is your cheerleader. Next up is Walter Stith, a former professional athlete in multiple leagues. Walter now focuses on providing goal-oriented investment management and financial planning for professional athletes and other high net worth individuals at RM Compass Group at Morgan Stanley.
All right, if my talk could change one thing in the world, and being realistic about the amount of change that it would take in order to bring my talk to reality, I think the one thing that I would change is I would change the mindset of those who transition from the bottom 1% in wealth and income to the top 1% because of their talent. The only thing I want to do is for the people that hear my talk is to walk away with a mindset shift that I am transcending from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. And because of the change of my mindset, I will not return to the bottom 1%. That's the only thing that I want to change. Everything else I could say will be unrealistic because of the disparities that are in place. But the one thing that I want to change is that mindset.
Our next speaker is Valera Wilson. With over 20 years of experience leading high-performance teams at Fortune 100 companies, Valera now specializes in delivering confidence-boosting keynotes and leadership training, focusing on empowering emerging and female talent to achieve their full potential in the workplace.
One thing I will walk away with as I've even prepared for this talk and as I've looked back over my life is it takes an incredible amount of honesty to admit your why. It does, because you can pretend so very well in front of others, right? When I look at the accomplishments that I've achieved, if I look at the fact that, I actually now teach people about confidence and performance. I've been able to launch products that are used around the world that many of you actually use. I've been able to lead high-performing teams globally. I've been able to drive millions and millions of revenue for global brands. But at the end of the day, people will look and say, wow, she's confident. She's got it. People will look at you all and say the same thing. She did it. He did it. But what I find is that sometimes that the truth of the matter is that we're not doing it always because we believe in ourselves, but sometimes because we don't believe in ourselves. And it shows up in very tricky ways. The overworking, because you don't believe that if you just got off at 5 or 6, that you'd be good enough to be in the room. It shows up in always saying yes and showing up for everybody. When the truth of the matter is that you're exhausted and you don't want to be bothered, but you're afraid of being rejected. It takes honesty. It takes confidence, not just to do, but to say no.
Next up is Tristan LaGrant, a certified professional diversity coach and employee advocate and belonging manager. Tristan leverages her neurodivergent perspective and HR experience to champion underrepresented groups, fostering workplace equity, and inspire individuals to align with their innate talents for personal and professional fulfillment.
Once again, here I am. Let's see. Question I think I want to answer is, what's something that is unexpected about my talk? I think the thing that's most unexpected for me, especially y'all don't know me just yet, but I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you all. But I think the thing that's most unexpected is that technology saved me. Technology is really the crux of my talk, because my talk is really rooted in how one question from an ADHD coach I hired while I was on the brink of a breakdown, trying to figure out how do I navigate this big job with this inability to structure my life. And really, she asked me one question, and she said, who manages your calendar? Who controls your calendar? Who controls the thing that you commit to on a daily basis? And I was just like, well, me, of course. I do. And I looked at her like she was crazy, and she's looking at me like I'm crazy, because it seemed so obvious to her. If you're the person who controls your calendar, then why are you letting your calendar control you? And we went into an exercise of asking myself, what typically happens after a meeting? How do you feel after a meeting? And what do you do? And ultimately, this led into me creating a calendaring system where everything on my calendar is color coded, not by the time that it takes, but the energy that it takes from me. Because I recognize that I'm a person who really manages on energy and flows with energy. And I couldn't actually bring my whole self to every opportunity because I was putting too much there. And I wasn't taking the time to really understand, how do you perform the best? So this has led me into understanding how technology can support me. And most importantly, how AI can support neurodivergent individuals, because it's working for me every day.
Our next speaker is Sam Yankevic, a bilingual author, LinkedIn learning instructor, and team facilitator who leverages his multicultural background and expertise in communication to drive positive change, fostering personal growth, and address complex problems in diverse professional and community settings.
I'm a nerd, an engineer, and always devoted to scientific thinking. And I realized that it's like that story of the drunk guy that gets outside of the bar and he's looking for his car keys where the lights are. And they asked him, you're looking out here, but maybe they fell over there where it's dark. You might be looking in the wrong places. And I realized that myself included, I was looking in the wrong places for solutions. And the solutions we have are inside. And again, to the topic of our words. And the fact is, we can make up our own words. We can change the meanings of words. We can delete words from our dictionary. And we can borrow words from other languages and from other cultures that can help us overcome situations that we're not happy with. So it's one of those things where we talk about technology, we immediately jump to our cell phone, maybe our computer, maybe the technology and the sensors in our cars. But I'm talking about the technology that we have right with us, right on the tip of our tongues. And we have to remember to use that every day for our own benefit.
Next up is Matt Cartwright, a psychotherapist trained in various therapeutic approaches and certified spiritual life coach. Matt helps individuals discover their authentic selves and tap into their inner wisdom to overcome life challenges.
There was a time when I would only approach stages like this as Madeline. You would have loved Madeline. She was gorgeous, powerful, and courageous. She was everything I would have wanted you to see in me and more. Madeline became my identity, and I would dress up as her anytime I wanted to stand up into the world. Madeline had a gossip column in the local gay magazine in San Francisco, and with Madeline as my guide, I got away with being scandalous. Madeline walked the runway for Macy's. Madeline even danced intimately with the Grace Jones and performed live with Madonna. So I'm trying to remember the rest of it. Now, I noticed a moment ago when I mentioned Madeline as my drag persona, a few of you leaned in because when you know, right? Mm-hmm. But the rest of you seemed unmoved, as if having a drag persona isn't something that each and every one of us shares.
Our next speaker is Malcolm Williams, a pioneering, edutaining entrepreneur and technologist who combines expertise in gaming, virtual reality, and education to develop innovative programs and experience while striving to create opportunities for underserved communities in the esports and gaming industries.
About EU, Howard, and whole thing, as much as I would love her doing the butt, I would ask Matt to cue up Most Def, Kase Bay, if you would, Matt, and I'll cue you when I'm ready for it. So,
Sorry, Matt, one more time.
Most Def, Kase, or C-A-S-A, Kase Bay, as in Most Def or Yasin Bay. Boy, oh boy, that was a good question. So as I was reading over it, and it said, what would your soundtrack be? And my sister hit me with, yo, it gotta be a mixtape. I feel you. Because technically part of my talk is about how not only parents need to stop demonizing gaming, but something that you probably forgot about, that they used to demonize hip hop.
Word? Yes, they did. And if you look right now, guess what? Rap and hip hop is the number one musical genre. I'm saying, what other music have brought Bloods and Crips together? Thank you. Y'all saw it too. But as we think about this, and hip hop was starting to really get established, and I love how you're talking about the words because I rocks with you with the words. Because if you think about in the beginning, we had the message. How many of y'all remember the message? Yeah, talking about broken glass everywhere. People pissing in the stairs like they just don't care. I was like, oh my God. That is brutal. I was a suburbanite, so I didn't want to hear that. And as I progressed, I remember hearing how hip hop was nothing more than a report of what they saw. Chuck D talked about it too. And I can go through artists after artists after artists and how they impacted my life. Well, as I move forward and I'm trying to figure out what song would do this, I had Dell, the Funky Homo Sapien, and he had a song called Protoculture. It was all about different types of games, and it was actually used on September 10th at the release party that Peter Moore was part of out in California for the Dreamcast. I'm a gaming historian. Hip hop and gaming has always been hand in hand. MF Doom, last song that he made before he made that transition is in Grand Theft Auto. So how could I pick one song that talk about gaming? Well, I went with Mos Def. Kessie Bay had a song, and the last part he talks about right here. Yes, I brought it up right here. Sorry you can't see it. I will broadcast it, but we're not ready for that yet. But I could have, but I just wanted to make sure you were ready. He said right here, wrong Mos Def song, athletic. So as he was going through this, I was like, what part really does this? I'm gonna pause this. It's so cold as he go into it. It keep wanting to play. I'm telling you, I feel you. It's a powerful song because he says this one line right here. He goes into how you can't stop my go. I've been born to be where I am. Bright light from a distant star. Miracles answers prayers. When I became an alpha, that was my coming out song. And coming out to the stage, I'll use it again because miracles answer prayers.
All right. Our next speaker is Eve Mackey, a multifaceted entrepreneur. Mackey has founded successful ventures like Black Spade and Dope Heart Media, while also dedicating himself to philanthropy, activism, and empowering the Black community through innovative technology and culture initiatives.
So the thing that I feel was surprising about my talk was when I set out to go and document everything, I was like, I'm gonna go out, maybe like 100 people gonna see this post. I did not expect for that to change my life. It's changed my life today, like who I am today. My appreciation for Black women, the role that they have in my life and the role that I want to have in their lives has changed. Like my whole life is about supporting, empowering, protecting Black women just based on what I saw out there. I ended up writing my third book. It's a 300-page history book that sold out. It was being considered for a Pulitzer. You're not supposed to tell people that. They tell you don't say that. I also did an art exhibition at a Harvey B. Gantt Center, which is a big, huge art museum in Charlotte, North Carolina. It just was and ultimately was able to do this. So I did not expect when I went out to just try to make a difference, that it would be making a difference in my life. I thought that I was going to do something that was going to educate the masses. And what ended up happening was I learned a lot. So just in me stepping out and doing what I could do, it totally changed my life and how I live it. So that was something that I wasn't expecting. And I guess that ties into my talk.
Cantina Jenkins is a dynamic training professional and DEIB activist. Skilled in program management, she is known for her can-do attitude and strong communication skills. She excels in fostering inclusivity and collaboration in corporate environments.
Have you ever been stressed out to the point that you didn't know where help was coming from? Well, I have news for you. There are 3 individual villages that you can obtain all the help that you need, and you had no idea those villages were staring at you right in the face. Stay tuned.
Brandy Harvey is our next speaker. She's the president of Young, Fit, and Fly, champions the empowerment of young women to transcend social norms and embrace their health and self-image. She also leads the strategic vision of the Steve and Margaret Harvey Foundation, focusing on partnerships and community alliances to enhance youth mentoring programs.
My image and likeness will be used in perpetuity. I need to know. All right. Well, thank you, Sabrina. All right. So the one phrase that I want people to walk away from my TED Talk is come out of hiding. Recently, I filmed one of my good super friends, Dr. Sherry Riley, on my show. And she said, Brandy, along my journey, there were so many moments that I wasn't humble, I was hiding. And so I think so many of us spend so much of our time hiding our light. We want to be validated by other people. We work harder. We try to show up stronger, better, faster. But ultimately, we lose ourselves in the process. And so I want folks to come out of hiding and share their light with the world.
Being a TEDx speaker instantly elevate your position as an expert in your space, not just from all the publications, the work that you have done, but also in the visibility of the right people, especially the millions of users, subscribers on TEDx YouTube channel. Besides that, we have a community of individual events who are leveraging existing TEDx speakers and coaches to help you to be at your best when you step up on that TEDx stage. So don't miss out this chance to explore our event on September 14th, 2024 at TEDx Buckhead Ave. Go to runbeckmedia.com/TEDx to grab your ticket. We can't wait to see you in person with us. And even you cannot catch us doing this live event, we would love for you to check out our YouTube for the speaking engagement that we'll be publishing after our live event. Until then, we'd love for you to take a screenshot of wherever platform you're listening to this podcast to tell us what are some ideas from the speakers that has been presented who giving you a tiny sneak peek that you're excited about for the TEDx talk coming up. And then post it on LinkedIn. Make sure to tag us and myself, Sabrina Runbeck, for us to continue this amazing conversation with you. And we hope you will become the next TEDx speaker. Thank you for tuning in to Provider's Edge podcast. We hope you enjoy our latest episode and found the insights and tips helpful. We'd love to hear your feedback on the show and learn what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. So please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and let us know what you think. Your feedback is essential to help us improve the show and provide you with the content you need to take your healthcare business to the next level. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.